Heather, what do you consider to be the strongest disruptive forces in finance today?
I think technology is clearly a strong disruptive force in the way that we're using it internally. But I think a knock-on effect of technology is data and the availability of data. We have an abundance of information to use to analyze and do our jobs better, and we have access to information almost real time in many instances. So I think that's a big disruptive force for us in a new way. I think also talent capability and how we're really using our talent and our resources in finance to do more or something different than what they've done previously is a big change in the way that we do things.
So you mentioned the abundance of data. How do you think that could affect standard setting?
I think the standard setters have already begun to think about how the availability of information from a technological perspective can change the lens that we use to apply standards. So in the past, whenever a standard would come out, we often used a materiality lens or certainly a stratifying strategy to implement the standard. These days we have the ability in many cases to get 100% of the population to apply that standard through the use of the data that's available.
How will the next generation of accounting professionals differ from today's workforce?
I think they'll look very different. I think finance professionals are really required to use information in a different way. I think they're looking to be analytical instead of transactional. And so the things that they need to do just as a basic way to do their job have really transformed, and I think they'll continue to transform. I think the talent of today is also looking for a very well-rounded experience, and that's what we're looking for them to have as well. And so they want to have a different perspective and many angles on any piece of information or any part of their job that they do. And so it's up to us to provide that opportunity to really develop them in that way. And then I think that the talent of today is really focused on not just doing their job, but on what their job is personally contributing to the company, and then even further what the company's contributing to the community that they operate in.
Why is it important for finance leaders to connect with their peers?
So I think this is incredibly important. I think at its base level, accounting rules and regulations exist so that we can have consistency in how we apply standards to make financial reporting better. And I think one of the ways that you can make sure that everyone is interpreting those standards and regulations in a consistent way is to share information and look at the amount of judgment that's applied in those accounting principles and try to really narrow in and share information and get back to that goal of providing consistent information. And I think it's just multiplying your experience. We all say we learn the best from our experiences, and the more people you can share with and learn from, the more experience you can benefit from.